crossroads of the world, the cornerstone of the whole system. Pharaoh took Moses, an Egyptian pharaoh, in 1468 BCE, conquered Megiddo, and we have the whole description of the story given to us in his temple in Karnak, in Egypt. And he says that capturing Megiddo is better than capturing 1,000 other cities. And that's all we need to know, coming from the ruler of Egypt, how important the place was. So this was the fortress, so to speak, that was guarding over the entrance to the valley. And it changed hands so often, because everybody had to have it if you want to control the main battlefield. Further south will be the mountains of Samaria, the mountains of Judea. We can call it the heartland of biblical Israel. When the Bible speaks about the kingdoms, northern kingdom, southern kingdom, it speaks about the mountains. Very seldom in the history of the land, Hebrews or Jews were in control of the plains and the coast. This was always the land of the foreigners. And therefore, a big percentage of what the Bible tells us about what happened in the days of Old Testament, New Testament as well, took place on the mountains. Jesus on his way through Samaria to go to Jerusalem, and of course the mountains of Galilee, not that much from a Jewish perspective took place in the plains, in the valleys. And the next one, we're going now to the Rift Valley. That's how it looks like. As you can tell, this is sea level. This is the Sea of Galilee, about 650 below sea level. And this will be the Dead Sea, or the Sea of Salt, as we prefer to call that, which is 1350 below sea level, the lowest place on earth. So that would be the area of the Rift Valley, which is the eastern part, so to speak, of the land of Israel. Now, to show you in more details how it looks like, the upper Jordan Valley, it's where the sources of the River Jordan are. The main source of water to our nation from biblical days until this very day. One source is called Dan. Dan, named after the tribe of Dan. Let me remind you that their inheritance was in a location that after a few centuries they decided to leave. Wasn't safe enough. They moved up north. They conquered a place. They brought a tribe over, and they named it after Dan, their forefather. By the way, the meaning of Jordan simply means flowing from the land of Dan. That's what the meaning of the name is. So that's the river that flows from Dan. Feeds into the Sea of Galilee, which is indeed the most important place in Israel, well, at least today because of water. Well, here the Sea of Galilee, and by the way, geographically, Sea of Galilee is a wrong term. Number one, it's not a sea. Number two, it's not Galilee. Or it's a lake. But back in biblical days, everything that was bigger than a puddle was called a sea. And Galilee are the mountains. This one is in the valley.